Hello and welcome back to my craft room. It's Big Fat Diary Day and I'm feeling quite positive this week, but as always a bit trepidatious about the actual weigh-in that I'm going to do in a minute on camera, because I'm just going to be so disappointed if I haven't lost any weight. Thank you so much to everybody for all of your encouragement and support and all the brilliant advice and tips people have shared in the comments and in the we've got a Big Fat Diary room in our Discord community now. I'll put my link tree where you can find your way to a free Discord community and a Facebook group as well. If you want to pop in there, it's a lovely place to share your ups and downs and tips and let us know what works for you, what doesn't, all that kind of it's just really nice to have a bit of kind of ongoing support all through the week. So how I've been doing this week, activity wise, after it's been up and down, everything's always up and down. My biggest number of steps, because I was aiming at 10,000 steps, and one viewer did point out to me that having counted steps for years, she's learned that don't do too much all at once, don't do yourself an injury and kind of shoot yourself in the foot, as it were, by doing too much too soon. So I had sort of thought, right, okay, we'll take it steady, we'll ramp up to 10,000 steps a day slowly. And then went out for a walk with Tom the other day. We ended up doing 12,500 steps in one fell swoop. I was aching a bit the next day, but not too bad. So the next day I didn't do a walk at all, but I did quite a lot of Beat Saber instead. Beat Saber's more sort of upper body and arms and shoulders. I can feel I've been doing it because I can feel an ache here. Do use my bottom half a bit, but not so much. So after a long walk, my hips and my knees will feel it, but I'm okay to do Beat Saber. So. I did. The weather was foul at the beginning of the week, so I didn't get out. One of the things I promised myself is that I will get out, even if it's just for a short time, every day. And there were 2 days I just didn't get out at all, and I just want to hibernate, and it's like that in a nice way. I want to hibernate here in my craft room. That's where I want to be. But the other days I did get out every day. Once it was only for about 20 minutes, other times it's about 45 minutes, so that's okay. And then the really long walk with Tom. Other than that, I've been carrying on counting calories. I've been using the Get Slim app to do that. I'm finding that really works for me. I love the site now. I'm getting my head around it. There are different exercises every day you can do if you want to. I do not like the word exercise. We were saying in Discord this morning, Claire was saying the word exercise. No. I prefer to use the word activity, and I do need to do more activity. I do need to get more active. I'm not going to use the word exercise because it does put me off. Going for a walk though, it's fun. Doing Beat Saber, it's fun. That's good activity. And I am really enjoying being outside again. When I walked down, did quite a longish walk the other day, and there's a bit down towards the airfield from us. There's a field where you can always hear skylarks, and if you're lucky, you can spot them occasionally, because they do everything up in the air, don't they? They're constantly in flight, and their song is just amazing. And I hadn't done that for ages, so anyway, I lost my thread. Lots and lots of other advice and tips and things that I am taking on board and will definitely implement over the coming weeks and months, and hopefully permanently. I do want this to be a permanent lifestyle change. I don't want to be permanently on a diet. At the moment, I need to be on a diet to lose weight that I've gained, excess weight that I've gained. But once I'm at target weight, by that stage I want to have changed my lifestyle so that it doesn't happen again, and so that I can make the most out of my life. That's what it is. I'm doing myself a favour. I'm doing myself a big favour here. And as you can probably tell by how I'm coming across, I just feel so much more positive, and a lot of that is down to all of you guys being so supportive. You're amazing, really, and all of you who are joining me on this actual journey. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you're feeling upbeat about it all. Little steps in it, baby steps. We can do this. I'm already got in my head that even if I just lost half a pound this week, that's okay. It's moving in the right direction. I'm making those changes, and they will have an ongoing effect. So I'm kind of, one of my things that I'm trying to do is have the mindset that I'm not depriving myself or punishing myself for being fat. I'm making positive changes. So instead of thinking I'm not allowed to have this, that and the other, I'm trying to think of it as I need to make sure I get enough of this, that and the other, and not too much of the naughty things. Some changes are easier than others for me. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, so that doesn't bother me too much, and I love black coffee without sugar. That's my go-to anyway, so that's easy. The things I miss are fat, really. I miss dairy, I love cheese, I love butter, I love all those naughty things, and I like a salty snacks rather than sweet. But I've been trying to focus on choosing healthy alternatives. That's something that my friend Johnny of Just Johnny Creations, I'll link to him as well, because he's doing a weekly video too. He goes to his fat club, as he calls it, I think on a Monday, so last week his video didn't come out till Tuesday, but we'll link to him, so please go and support him as well if you haven't already. He's hilarious too. He doesn't usually talk to camera, but he is for this, and I just think he's really engaging and he's really funny about it, and it's really nice to have him sort of walking alongside me on this sometimes rocky path. So I have got here on my desk a few of the healthy alternatives that I've been choosing this week. I'd show you just for a bit of interest, and I thought each week what I might do is just mention just tell you about my favourite recipe of the week. So I'm rediscovering old favourites and reworking old favourites, and this week undoubtedly the big one has been dal. So just lentil dal, spelt D-A-L or D-H-A-L, whichever way you spell it. Now dal has been kind of a staple food in our family since I was a kid. I don't know if it's because my mum was Anglo-Indian, so I don't, which I guess means I am as well. So I don't know if that's what it is, if it was passed down from her granny, maybe. Anyway, I learnt to make dal from mum, and it was always a comfort food when we were kids, dal and rice, and still is a go-to comfort food for me now. And over the years I've tweaked the recipe, and I'm sure my sisters do different versions of it as well. And I can remember in the old days it would have been with patna rice. You don't really see that anymore, do you? But now I have Thai fragrant basmati rice with it, and mum used to just do it with like curry powder, and you couldn't get spices and things then like you can now. And she would fry the onions in quite a lot of fat, and then fry the curry powder, and then add the lentils and tinned tomatoes, and I think maybe tomato puree and salt, and that would have been it. And over the years I've done all kinds of things with it. I've ground all the spices from scratch because I like doing that. I tend to add a lot more cumin and coriander because I like those. I've put more chilli in because I like it spicier now than we would have had it then. And I've also tried it recently with a reduced fat coconut milk, which is lovely, but obviously not so healthy. So there was a day during the week when it was cold and wet and horrible. I didn't feel like cooking. I couldn't. Normally I love cooking, it's like therapy, but I just couldn't be bothered that day. So I thought, I'm going to rework that. I just felt it's a dull day. And actually it's quite, because it's lentils, it's quite satisfying. It's quite nice to have just without rice, just a bowl of dal. It's like a hug in a bowl. Anyway, so I just put it right down to basics. I used some spray. It was 5 ingredients. I used some spray oil and carefully fried an onion so it didn't burn. Added a bit of salt at that stage because that helps to bring the moisture out of the onion. You can tip a little bit of water in as well. Got the onion to soften a little bit, just a little bit, not for long, and then threw in just curry powder. I just used curry powder like my mum would have done. Just cooked that off for a little bit, rinsed the lentils, chucked them in, threw in the tinned tomatoes, filled up the empty tin with water, chucked that in as well. And did I add a stock cube? I think I added a stock cube, so I wouldn't have needed any more salt then. And then just kind of stirred it, brought it up to a simmer, simmered it for about, it's not long, like no more than half an hour, and it was ready. Those little thin small orange lentils cook really fast, and you don't need to soak them or anything. They're just I would have waited longer than that for a takeaway to be delivered, wouldn't I? And just kept sort of stirring it from time to time so it didn't catch on the bottom, topping it up with water a bit as it needed it. And do you know, it was like going back. It was like my mum used to make absolute comfort food. That was enough for about 4 portions, so I managed to stop myself eating a lot. I want to say portions, big, and I can't remember what the calorie count was now. That would be helpful if I'd have remembered that, wouldn't it? But it's pretty, like you can imagine, there's no fat in that. It's, and what calories are there? Really nutritious calories, plenty of basically fibre and protein. Kept me full up for ages and just made me feel better on a cold and dreary day. So there we go. That's my dal recipe. If I remember, I'll put the recipe in the description box in case anybody wants it. Or I'll put it in the Discord, in the Big Fat Diary room in Discord. That's what I'll do. So let's have a quick look at those alternatives, and then I think I can't put it off any longer. I'm going to have to go do the weigh-in. Right, I'm just going to stop a second because I need a wee as well. One of my things is that I take these tablets for my blood pressure that make me wee for the first sort of because I retain water otherwise. And long story. And so for the first sort of 2 or 3 hours, I'm weeing all the time. So I'm better off to do my weigh-in a bit later. But I need to do this before Tom gets here because it's Sunday. Okay, I'm going to stop recording, go for a wee, and then I'll come back and show you these alternatives. Okay, I'm back. I had to run downstairs again to get one of my healthy choices I'd forgotten to bring. Okay, right, let's have a look. You might not be interested. You can skip this bit if you want. I'll timestamp it to the weigh-in bit. You can skip straight there. Okay, so here we are. These have been some of my favourite healthy choices. Healthy swaps, really. Just swapping one thing for another. Okay, so first one I've really enjoyed is these thin crisps. I love the whole sourdough rye thing. I like sourdough rye bread as well. These are really nice, and I think each one is, hang on, they don't actually give a per cracker, but it's something like 22 calories per crisp. They're quite small, but I can have 4 of these for my breakfast with nice toppings on, and it's still a reasonable amount of calories. I've been having them with pastrami, hard-boiled eggs and low-fat mayonnaise with some gherkins, that kind of thing. It's about the same number of calories or even less than 1 piece of toast, but I feel like I'm having more. A lot of it is about it's psychological tricks that work on my mind. It might not work for everybody, but they work for me. So those have been really nice. Another little Finland thing. Now this was sent to me by Thornius. Now you'll recognise the name Thornius from if you're in our Discord community. Tom and I sent him a food package at one point, all kind of British foods, just for fun, and he sent us some foods and things from Finland, and amongst all the rest is long gone, but I've still got some of these left, and I'd love to be able to get more, but I don't know if we can get them here. But these are just tea bags, and they're moomin tea, and I just love the flavours of them. Yeah, see, not many left now. They're nearly all gone. So we've got, they're all black tea. This one's flavour of blueberry muffin. It's not sweet though. I don't like sweet drinks, but it very much has that flavour and that smell. This one is wild strawberry. And if like us, you've ever had wild strawberries in your garden, they have a very distinctive, almost bubblegummy taste, but that might make them sound horrible, but it's a very distinctive taste, wild strawberry, and it really tastes of that. What's the other one? There's a lemon one, and there's this one which is rhubarb and strawberry. They're just so cute. I just love them, and these have been my healthy swap for a gin and tonic. So instead of a G&T, a moomin tea. Okay, so that's that. Healthy swap for naughty snacks like crisps and things. These. Now, I know there are lots of things like this, and I don't normally like the corn type ones, but I really like these. I'm really into these. And it feels like you've got loads. You can see how full it is. It just feels like you can be munching on these for ages. It's not just like a little handful when you open the packet. So, yeah, thoroughly recommend it. Only 72 calories. Instead of full-fat Greek yogurt or mayonnaise or cream or things in cooking, I've been using this skyr. I think I'm saying it right. A bit Scandinavian, eh? I love this stuff. So this is Icelandic style strained yogurt. It's fat. Is it actually fat-free? Yeah, 0% fat, high protein. and it's just lovely. It's got this nice, maybe you'll be able to see, sort of thick, creamy kind of consistency. And I've found that if I drop it stir it into pasta or something at the end, if I want like a creamy sort of pasta, it doesn't kind of all break up when it gets hot. It seems to stay together quite well. I don't know why, perhaps because it's been strained. Really like that. So that's another healthy swap. And this one, I'm so pleased to find these. So I love cauliflower rice, but it's a messy pain in the hole to actually make it yourself. My cauliflower, I just end up getting it everywhere, and sometimes it's quite hard to get hold of in the supermarket. So sometimes you can get it fresh, sometimes you can get frozen. The frozen tends to be a bit soggy. I like to kind of dry fry it just to toast it slightly, and sometimes I put cumin seeds in with it if I'm going to have it with my dal. But I didn't realise they did this. So this is in a pouch, which you just have to keep it in a cold, dark place. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. And the use by date on it is 13th of August 2025. I mean, it doesn't look like fresh cauliflower rice. You can see it looks like almost like it's partly cooked or something. I don't know. So I'm going to try this out for the first time tonight, and I'll let you know next week what it was like. But to just have in the cupboard as a low carb alternative to rice, I just thought it was brilliant. So I've got this from Sainsbury's this time. It's interesting, they've got how it compares to. So each pouch contains 2 servings. Oh, I don't know about that. If I'm going to have cauliflower rice, I might as well have plenty of it. But anyway, calorie wise, this must be per serving. So it's only 19 calories. I might as well have the whole pack, and feel really nice and full up. But white rice would be, equivalent quantity would be 130, brown rice 125, couscous, yeah, so couscous, quinoa, brown and white rice, pretty much all the same. This is a hell of a lot less. So if I'm having it with something like dal, which is quite filling anyway, because lentils are quite carby, aren't they? I shall try this out tonight and let you know next week how it goes on. And the last little thing was obvious maybe, but works on my weird head. It's just to swap for a smaller plate. So this is our normal dinner plate. It's quite deep. It's almost like a very shallow bowl, and you can get a hell of a lot of food on that. So I've swapped for this slightly smaller plate, and I have got a smaller again one. But just psychologically, it just makes me feel like I'm having more than I really am. And I even swapped big fork for smaller fork, so I eat it a bit more slowly, and it just, I know it sounds daft, but works for me. So that is quite enough waffle. I think I need to stop now and go and do the dreaded weigh-in. Phone at the ready. Oh, right, phone's all ready to go. And then the last thing is just to do my usual stand up, and I don't think it's any difference yet, because at the most I've lost a couple of pounds last week and this week. But I just want to do this every week, just so I can see for myself later on if there's any visual difference. So oh god, here we go. I dread this bit. I'm like, whoa. Okay, let's go. Delighted. 12 stone, 9.4 pounds. So let's call that 9.5. 12 stone, 9.5, and I started off 13 exactly. So, just fractionally under 13. So I rounded it up. So that's £2.5 altogether, isn't it? That sounds a bit more, but over 2 weeks, so that's okay. That's okay. It's nice to see it reading 12.9 instead of 13. That just feels good. So very happy about that. That's progress. That's real progress now. I can plot that into my Get Slim app now and start the graph going downwards. One of the things they do on there is tell you how. So they give you a graph, and it's nice to have a visual representation of your weight loss. And they also tell you. So last week they said you are 4% on your way to your goal. So I thought, 4%. I'd only lost a pound. I was a little bit, but 4%. So it'll be interesting to see what it is this time. So thank you very much for joining me today. I am recording, aren't I? Yeah. And thank you again so much for your ongoing support. It means so much. It makes such a huge difference. If my motivation is flagging slightly, I just have to remind myself that I'm going to be doing this on Sunday, and that I've got all of you guys rooting for me, and that there are lots of people who said they'll be joining me as well. So I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let them down. And yeah, I just... yeah, it really it's like, I guess, the same sort of effect as some people find. Like Johnny goes to Slimming World group and he loves it. I would hate it. It would not work for me. But I've kind of got that, but with all of my friends. I don't actually have to go anywhere. Marvellous. Okay, thank you very much again for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you again next Sunday. Meanwhile, I'll see you again for other videos during the week, I'm sure. Hope you're having a lovely weekend, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye. I'll write that down now.